Hello, everybody, and welcome to Stabby Time. I'm your host, Liz0mbie. I'm with my co-host, Brendan. Hello, hello.
Hey. Hi.
I'm loving this new feature that the app we use did where it I forgot that it automatically does our intro because when it was left up to me and the timing, it would all of our videos, if you go in all of our lives, is us going for like 2 seconds and then it goes into the video. Even in Boss S Whisks, it's us like, and then snaps the intro. Yeah, they're like, we've been getting complaints, guys. We need to make a new feature just for these people because they suck. So we're gonna be actually, it's funny. So we didn't do this on purpose, but these are very Valentine's-y movies that we're reviewing. We're reviewing Companion and oh wait, it's Companion? It's The Companion. No, it's Companion. Okay, yeah, so when I was telling people that we were reviewing this movie, everyone kept being like, Companion? What? And then I looked, there's actually another movie named Companion, but it's like an older movie. Yeah. And apparently it's like 3 stars and it's horrible. They're like, why the fuck were you reviewing this movie? I'm like, no, the sex robot movie. And then they were more confused, but yeah, they're very Valentine's-y. One's about, romance and robots, and one's about people who hate Valentine's Day, which, I associate with. We're also giving away a Hard Eyes poster. So hopefully we have a fancy Streamlabs message that should be popping up in the chat. And if you do !! raffle, you will you will win one of these Hard Eye posters. It's been a long week. I'm gonna do it's not even a self promo. I guess it's my day job, so I'm not really promoting them.
That's fine.
But whatever, guys, for free. By the way, I don't have to charge $3,000 for doing this, but you guys are welcome. So I personally am the creative manager at Wonderverse in Oak Brook, Illinois. So if you guys are near Oak Brook, Illinois, and you go there in the month of February, we're doing a Hard Eyes poster, and we made this drink called a Dedicino. It is a adult iced coffee, and you'll get a tumbler that looks like the iced coffee that you see in the movie, basically the coming previews. Because Sony owns us, Sony Pictures, and it's always funny because I actually wrote an email to them being like, so if you guys want us to do these like promos, I feel like, I feel selfish saying this, but like I should get like tickets to the early showings because like I'm making things for the movie. So if I like read this movie wrong via just the coming previews, like it would have very been like a horrible promotion. I basically made the tumbler and the coffee, and I assumed this is how the movie starts and begins. And I was like, I'm going to take a gamble. This could be like 2 seconds of the movie, and this has nothing to do with nothing. But lucky me, it worked. So I was like, yay. The only thing that didn't work is when I saw that movie, I realized, so I took the one photo Sony gave me, and I had to make an interesting standee. So I cut it in half and I made it like 3D, but I cut out the eyes of the stand-up thing to make it glow like the movie. And I just assumed like around the eyes was like red because that's all you see, like the glow or whatever. Or the 2 seconds that they show during the commercials. And then I realized that in the movie, it's like metal around his eyes. And I was like, guys, if we get some like real big picky horror nerds because we read the 1-star reviews. So like I'm assuming one of them might come in and be like, well, actually, the standing's incorrect because there's not metal around the eyes. But we don't want to be those people because like we look stupid because Sony Pictures owns us. So I mean, if any place would have to get it right, you would assume it would be us. So I'm gonna see what they say. They could tell me, Liz, go fuck yourself, which they usually do. And I'll go fuck off somewhere else. But I love just hearing them say it. I feel like it's becoming a kink for me. While I review this movie, there's no bias at all. Matter of fact, I was thinking this was going to be a nightmare. I was sweating a little bit because there's a lot writing on this promotion that I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, and people were making me like nervous because I mean, Sony has not had a good few years. And I'm just like, oh my God, like, please be good. Because wouldn't that suck if I was like, yeah, guys, I'm going to, promote this movie and do this promo and make these tumblers. And don't worry, I get to do this all the time. If we get enough people to do it. And then all of a sudden someone at my work goes, do you think this movie is actually going to be good? And then just anxiety hit me at that point. I was like, oh my God, what if this movie is horrible? Like what? I'm gonna look like an idiot. No one's gonna watch. They're gonna actually comment on this. That was my greatest fear, was people commenting on my photos of this standee and stuff, being like, this movie sucks. I would never go there. I'd rather shit in that cup. Like, I mean, everything. So I saw it as soon as it came out. I was like, I had to see this fucking movie. So I feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Long story short. But if you're a Notebook, you won't be disappointed. But I also know that the standee is like, has a minor incorrect thing about its face. And that's he doesn't have metal around his eyes. So don't kill me. Yeah, please forgive me. Please. But I did put a teaser on our bar menu, and it has hard eyes coming into the TV, and it looks like a bunch of static and shit. I got creative, because I love horror, and this is our like horror year. Sony alone has, oh God, we have I mean, yeah, these movies have already advertised. Sorry, there's a list of movies I'm not supposed to share. And I know I'll get in trouble if I say them, but I believe these were already outed anyways. So I Know What You Did Last Summer. That's Sony. And then we have Goosebumps already came out. And then we have, oh yeah, the Until Dawn is us.
Until Dawn, yeah.
And then we have another remake. Oh my God. Oh yeah, 28 Years Later.
Sure.
That's Sony. So it's like all horror movies. So I mean, if any year is going to be a year that, I get a raise, hint, hint, this would be my year. So I could prove to them all the cool things I could do. I don't know about 28 Years Later. I don't know about. I feel like are you? So
yeah.
You know what creeps me out? I mean, I get it, but like seeing all the posters of all the movies they've made, I'm seeing like a it's the same actors. Like if they hire like one actor, it's the same actor. So like the dude from Craven, the guy from Kick-Ass, like he's also in 28 Years Later, and then he's also in Bullet Train, and I'm just like, wow, he's in a lot of these Sony movies. I don't know. Something about that just is very unappealing to me.
Well, I mean, that tends to happen. That tends to happen.
Like,
they got contracts with studios.
They sold their soul. They sold their soul to Sony. Blink twice if you guys need assistance or help. We'll try to help you as much as we can to free you. But yeah, so I just came from Companion. Because it was I thought it was going to be busier. the theater. I was luckily the only person there, so it was nice. I got to leave work a little early and go watch this fun movie with like a big bucket of popcorn by myself, being a gross human. Uh, but yeah, you know what? I'm glad that this movie was what I thought it was, because I'll tell you one thing. When I saw the beginning, I've been telling everybody that this is like a sex doll like thing, like a sex doll horror movie, and I would have felt really stupid if it wasn't, because in the beginning it kind of fooled me a little bit, and I was like, wait a minute,
Well,
is she
what's
real?
funny? What's funny? I never even watched the trailer for it. Like, I knew nothing about this movie. I knew nothing.
Oh my God.
I knew I wanted to see it because I saw her in it, and she's been popping up in a lot of horror movies. And then
Yeah, she
I
has.
kept seeing like some like TV spots, and then I saw one where she was covered in blood. It's like, oh, it's a horror movie. I didn't even know Jack
Yeah.
Quaid was in it. I knew
Oh my
nothing.
God. Yeah. I'm like, how did I get all these previews? Oh, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm broke. I got the broke Hulu, and this shit was like,
oh yeah, it's
just
probably
on.
marketed.
Oh God, it was heavily marketed. That's why I was like, okay. And they had like the thing that I knew was like a sex doll thing is they had the part where she's sitting down and she's like, "What's going on?" And he's like, "Nothing, to shut up." And the one girl goes, "Why don't you just like unplug her already?" And I just caught from that. Guillermo's in it, from What We Do in the Shadows, which I love. Sweetest guy on earth.
Essentially playing the same character.
Yeah. You know, he got typecast. If you need a gay, you know, they cast him.
He does it pretty well.
Harvey does he does a good gay.
Mhm.
I want to see him though. I really want to see him like in his own movie, like not a movie that involves like I want him in his own movie. I think he would do great. Like I just feel like I don't know.
He's
He's fucking
pretty good.
hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he does, I mean, horror's his thing. Of course, Lucas Gage is in every fucking horror movie now. Like every horror movie.
Yeah. It was funny. I saw him too. I was like, oh, he was just in a movie. Now he's in another one.
Yeah, he's in like a lot, but also like, I don't know. I feel like he also gets kind of he's got like
He's
not
like the pretty boy.
Yeah, he doesn't have like big parts. They're always so like
well, because he was I think the first time I noticed him was in You. And like I think the second or third season he was in that. I think the second season. And then obviously he just did Smile too at the beginning.
Yeah, he was in something else though too.
Another
horror movie.
Let me see.
I gotta click on him.
Quick.
Yeah, we're like, we gotta click on this guy. Yeah, he was in Smile and Dead Boy Detectives. Yes, he was the cat guy. Stay Lost.
Roadhouse, yeah.
Yep. Oh yeah, that's right. Fuck, Fargo.
He's been
Gossip Girl. Yeah.
That's the new Gossip Girl. That one doesn't count.
Wait, first of all, 2022. Wasn't Queer as Folk like out? Like, did they redo Queer as Folk and I didn't?
Well, probably.
Did I
just
miss
like
that?
they did. Probably just like they redid Gossip Girl.
Oh, they did redo the L Word too, didn't they?
Yeah.
Oh, they did. Oh, wow. Wow. I'm old. That's all I gotta say is I'm old. I apparently am so old. I didn't even know they like redid. Fucking what? Juliette Lewis is in this? What is happening? How did I miss this?
Missing out.
I know. God, I need my gay card fucking taken away. Like, how the hell? I'll be honest. I didn't even watch the new L Word because the old L Word, like, fucking just, it gives me anxiety. Just, too many gay women in one room just gives me fucking anxiety. I just can't do it. I just can't. I'm like, and then they always got some shit or drama go. Oh, God, no. No, thank you. I'm like, I'm good. So yeah, he's been in every fucking TV show and movie. And it's funny because that was a twist too. So here, I'm not gonna get ahead of myself. So I'll do the quick description, even though I did say it's a sex doll movie. It's not the official, description of the movie, even though it would be funny. The description is a weekend getaway with friends at a remote cabin turns into chaos after it's revealed that one of the guests is a robot companion. Dun dun dun. But they all knew. They all knew she was a companion. And that's what kind of confused me in the beginning was they have a scene where they open up and they have where they meet, and I don't know, I just was oh, maybe I read the previews wrong, maybe she is real. Okay, I go, maybe he turns her into a robot and they die in that car accident, because then after they meet they're in the car, and I'm thinking, oh, they're gonna get in an accident and then he's gonna turn her into a robot. I was just so confused in the beginning. And then I was like, okay, good. Well, I guess that is the sex robot. Because even says I don't know, it's weird. I guess she was saying things that are robot-y, but even though she didn't technically know she was a robot, because she was say thank you to the car.
There's just the weird interactions.
Yeah, she's say thank you to the car. He's thank you, car. And I'm why she's so sympathetic towards the smart car, but she doesn't know that she's a robot. And then he was kind of being a dick to her when they first arrived at the house. He was now you do it, 2 steps away from the door. Now you have anxiety. I'm oh, what a dickhead. And it's weird because you I don't know, he had that Justin Long thing from Barbarian, which is funny because this is made from the people who made Barbarian. Right? Yep, that's what the commercial said. So I'm gonna believe it, because I had the same thing where you're okay, well, you're liking the kid Josh, which is her companion, quote quote, but then he has that weird moment where he's kind of a dick and he's oh god, oh fuck, you're now gonna have anxiety about meeting my friends, just smile and pretend to be okay, and you're just that's a little I know she's a robot, but that's a little fucked. But then they have the moment at dinner where she's talking about being in love with him, and he's just smiling at her. And you're just super confused at this fucking point, because then you got the gay couple, and Patrick and Guillermo plays Eli. They're talking about how they met, and they're having all romantic moments, and you got that fucking dude with the mullet. Oh my god, what's his name? I have to look up. Yeah, Sergey. Fucking Sergey. He's hello, welcome to my house. And you don't really know much about the guy besides he's got a mullet, Borderman, Hulk stash, and the one girl's kind of making it seem like he's a drug lord. And he even says something I have my hands in different things, and he's my hands get dirty. But then at the end, you realize what that meant. It didn't mean it was it meant literally dirty. But which reminds me, it kind of had that oh my god, what was that horrible movie? It had the SNL comedian in it. It was it's about the the millennials that just went off the fucking handle and started killing each other, but thinking it was a killer on the loose. It gave me those vibes.
Trying to think of what it was.
Yeah, right? It wasn't a good movie, obviously. We forgot the name of it. But it kind of gave me that vibe. Just people going off the handle with the limited amount of information that was given to them. They're yes, this is a bad man because he said that his hands were dirty, and she said that he was in some sort of mafia, and this is how he gets all of his money. So I don't even know what the hell's going on, because the one girl tells Iris, the robot girl, about how this dude is married and that she gets treated like an object. And then obviously you know she's a robot because she's like, you know, kind of like what you're for. Mm-hmm. Which again, maybe it's my fear of one day possibly, you know, getting murdered by a robot. I don't want to be mean to them. You know, I just feel like that's 101 just in case kind of ordeals. Don't be mean to the robot. But that's me. But yeah, what was the twist was like you find out she's the robot, and then their sex scene's fucking hilarious. Because all you see is Jack Quaid like finishing, rolls over, and she's just like, I love you. I just wanted to make you happy. He's like, okay, go to bed. I'm like, oh, what a romantic. It makes me really know that I'm missing out, you know? I was like, what the fuck? He's like, okay, I'm going to bed now. And then they wake up, and then all of a sudden all fucking hell like breaks loose. I totally predicted this movie wrong. I think that's my fault every time I see a new movie, is I'm predicting what it's going to be during the commercials.
Of course.
Then I get to the movie and I'm like, okay, wait. So what I thought was not true. Now I'm confused. Because I'm like, when is he going to like fall in love with her more? And like, is he going to like release her from her roboticness? Because he's in so much love with her. And yeah, that did not happen. Things get fucked because she's at the beach and Mullet Man.
Because he modded her.
Yeah, yeah. He goes to his mod. He modded her like fucking Sims. He's like, so all you Sims players, okay, that's what we got to worry about. Everyone who plays Sims and mods their Sims, and you know what I'm you know what mod I'm talking about. I was shown. It's been burnt into my brain ever since. But yeah, those type of people modding these guys, look what happened. But yeah, he fucking like mods her, and it's funny because they show the USB in his bag as if like you're like, what is that? And I'm thinking, oh, it's her like remote, you know? Like, I don't know. It was weird. I was like, okay, well, that's a weird thing. Like, were you expecting people to be like, that's obviously a USB to mod this thing? Like, or is it supposed to, I don't know. I don't know what was that was like a weird minute of staring at a metal stick, which I thought was just like a sensor. But she goes to the beach and there's Sergey being a creepo. And she's like, I should head back, you know, as women usually do when there's a creepo that wants to sit next to you. And he's like, no, I want you to put lotion on my back. She's like, okay. I'd be like, fuck no. But again, she's a robot. I don't know. And she's like rubbing lotion on his back as if like a parent asked you to put lotion on their back on the beach. And you're just like globbing it on and just like patting it like, okay, is that enough? Like, it's not like she was like massaging him. She's like, yeah, like, is this done yet? She's like, good, you're covered now. And he like creepily holds her hand and he's like, you know, my girl told you what you're good for. This is what you're made for. Let me get a little kiss. She did not want the little kiss. But before that, she reached in her pocket and had like a switchblade knife. That was fucking random. And then this guy does that. And you see them all in the fucking house. And then she comes in shaking. And she's like, killed the guy. And I knew something was off about this situation when she walked in and said that. And everyone was more concerned about the guy being dead. Like, they're like, wait, he's dead? Like, wait,
she just comes in completely covered in blood, holding a knife, and everyone's just like all calm. I'm like, what, Sergey's dead? That's not good.
Like, and then Josh is like, replay it. He's like, what happened? And she's like, well, you know, he like tried to like, you know, have sex with me. And no one questioned it. No one was very concerned about this fact. No one asked more questions. Like, I don't know. Like, that's your sex robot companion, whatever the fuck it is, but it, you know, I don't know. It's like it's bad to say this, but it's like you know, my dog. If anyone mistreated my dog, I'd ask questions, you know. Hopefully no one touches you in your naughty parts, Chewy, but like I would still ask questions. Like, no one asked a question like, why would he do that or anything like that. They were just like, oh my god, you killed him. Like, we gotta tie you up now. Like, I don't know. I feel like I would have been like, oh, like maybe the sexual assault triggered her robot brain, and then she just fucking killed him. But they just seemed very.
He just told us like, oh, go to sleep, and then that's when he just like, oh, she is a robot. That's when he officially knows she's a robot. So white just went full white, and then she just stood there, and then they all just started yelling. Like,
and I was still waiting for that clear of the brain thing. Like, I was still like, okay, I'm so confused. When are they fucking clearing this bitch's brain and she's gonna start killing people? Because it looks like she just already killed somebody. Like, I'm so confused. But then you find out that they've had this plan the whole fucking time. Like the little inklings that they were giving with Josh's character being super sweet, but also having like an asshole part. Like when they arrived at the house, him just saying smile and like deal with it. Him telling her to go to the beach by herself after they made plans. Even their sex scene, like he basically like banged and then rolled over and said, "Good night, bitch, go to bed." Like, I didn't predict that this was going to happen though. Like, apparently Sergey has a bunch of fucking money. His girlfriend basically, what was her name? Kate was like, Kat was like, is it Kate or Kat? It's K-A-T.
Kat. Yeah, they said Kat. Yeah.
Kat was like, she was such a bitch. I'm like, I don't care. But Kat was like, yeah, you know, trying to still do the impression that her boyfriend was this scary Russian drug lord, which was not the case. But anyways, I'm not going to give that away yet. But they were like, you know, saying how he has all this money and that's why they killed him. And of course, the gay couple finds out and they're like, what the fuck? Like, you guys were gonna, why did you guys invite us if you were planning this whole thing? Because Josh basically modded Iris. So then it gets rid of that, the blockage where she doesn't hurt anybody. And he just released her. But then they're arguing because Eli's like, you guys just invited us so we could be like some weird witness. And also you're not going to cut us into the money. And they're getting to arguing.
Well, when they're talking about the money, they're talking about, because there's 4 of them. And they're like, yeah, we'll split it 4 ways. I'm like, well, or no, we'll split it 3 ways.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, we split it 4 ways. I'm like, why? And then you find out that Patrick is also
that was a twist.
And I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense now.
I was like, that was a fucking twist, because I was like, wait, what's happening right now? I'm like, this motherfucker's been a robot the whole time. I didn't see that at all. And then they just like they took Eli and they put his business out there because they're like, he goes, you know how you love him because like you haven't upgraded him since you got him. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck is happening? And it's weird. So I don't know. You feel bad because like Patrick is now a robot. You got that. So he's like, fucking Eli goes, okay, motherfuckers, like we're gonna go find this bitch. And he gets the gun, especially after he realizes Josh just unmodded this girl. He's like, no, we need the gun. He goes out with the gun, and then him and Patrick have this moment while they're like in the fucking forest because they all split, of course. And Patrick knows he's a robot, but he doesn't care. Like he knows he's a robot, and then Eli confesses his love to him, but then Iris has Josh's phone and it starts ringing, and they know where she's at. So of course Eli takes a shot and she goes running. And now you see Patrick in his robe. He like fucking Terminated her. He was like running and doing the like fast with the arms going. Like, which is funny because like he didn't catch up to her. Fucking Eli did. And
Eli
like just
backward.
Fucking Eli footballs her down. He's like, bam! Like, I thought that was gonna be Patrick. I'm like, oh shit, okay. And he fucking like drops the gun. And the fucking funniest part is when they both realize the gun's on the floor, and Eli looks at her and goes, you know that I'm like an ally, and he's like trying to grab the gun from her.
Yep,
he's like, it's going okay, you know I'm ally. Yeah, and then wrestles and
he gets shot in the chest.
Shot.
I'm like, oh well, shit.
Fuck. There goes Eli. So now Eli's dead. And so you have Eli's dead. Iris runs because Iris basically finds out, which is like so funny because it's so true. She finds out her settings and she's like, nice, Josh, because they could set her intelligence and he fucking put her at 40%. I was like, damn. Like his true colors really came out. Just the sex scene and that, I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, fucking stop it. So she was like, okay, motherfucker. She put herself at 100. And just was like, let's make a plan on escaping, which is funny. So she moved it to 100, but she didn't think about getting into the smart car and his voice being the lock thing. Like,
it's a fake 100.
Yeah, it's a fake. It's an American 100. Like, there's no common sense attached to this.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck's going on? I'm like, okay, so yeah. She like bashes his hand and is like, oh fuck, I gotta do his voice, and she's trying to fucking remix his tone to unlock the car. And he's like, and like the cockiness of this man, the whole fucking time, he's like, you can't leave me because you love me. She's like, fuck you. Goes off on the car. He says this like 10 times in the movie and she constantly leaves him. He's like, you're not leaving this time. You love me. She just goes again. I'm like, okay. And what's funny is he does that. He steals fucking Eli's boyfriend and reboots him and then fucking becomes his lover. And then he basically mods him to be angry. And then he gets shocked when he fucking like goes on murder sprees, which is confusing. But yeah, fucking Iris.
Yeah.
What
was that? Oh yeah, because he killed the cop. Well, this is before he killed the cop.
But
and then Kat, like they're inside the house and Kat she's over it. Like too many people dying. There's a dead cop there now.
She's on Zanny's.
And then she decides like, you know what, I'm gonna take the money. I want to go. I want out. And then obviously Josh doesn't want her because like this can't. you're in too deep. So then she's just walking out the door, and he's like, Patrick, stop her.
He's not used to someone being able to leave, obviously.
Yeah. But then he was like, yeah, Patrick, go stop her. And then you think, oh, he goes and grabs her. It's like, no, stabs right in the back. They're like, oh.
Like,
well.
Like, what? Like, what do you think happened? First of all, even before that happened, Patrick bashed the face in of that cop and then shoved him in a trunk. And they know that happened. It's like, you couldn't, I don't know, put him down a few percentages before asking him to do anything.
Yeah, bash the cop's face in, then they just casually drives the cop car to their house.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, they're like, where's the cop at? He's in the trunk. And just continues walking. And then they do this whole, like, it reminded me of Silence of the Lambs, just like how they made the perfect meal. And then Patrick's in the kitchen. You got Iris locked up in the chair. She's all cleaned up now. And then you got fucking Josh with a broken hand, a broken foot, and he's eating this perfect meal. And he's like, oh, Patrick made me this great meal. And he just becomes more fucked because he's just like, you want to know if you feel pain? He lights her fucking arm on fire.
Well,
as he's on the.
She has her like raise her hand up. So he drops her intelligence down to zero.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Zero.
And then he makes her raise her arm out, her right hand out, and then he puts a candle under it just to see until she feels something.
Fuck. And her whole arm's on fucking fire. He's like, can you put that out too, Patrick? Like, the cockiness. Like, he's definitely the Justin Long of this movie. And I feel like maybe this director just loves doing that. Like, just having a character where you're just like, oh, fuck. Like, sometimes I hate him. Sometimes I love him. Because even when he's arguing with her and she's giving him his compliments and you see him like smiling and kind of being like, aw. And then her compliments become like sarcasm. And then you see him being like, okay, bitch, I'm going to light you on fire. So now like everyone is fucking dead, but Josh and fucking Patrick, he calls the company over to basically pick her up. And even before that, sorry, I got ahead of myself. He makes her shoot herself in the fucking brain, thinking that's where her memory is. So then they can't like know that he modded her, and he won't get in trouble for everyone's death, and he can run away with the money. But when they come to pick her up, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no, we'll totally scan her," and he's like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "But I mean,
we'll plug her in the truck and reboot her." And I'll scan her.
Like,
and
no one's in there, right?
Yeah, they keep the hard drive or SSD, whatever, in her chest. And I was like, huh.
Yeah. It's like, he's like, oh shit. Now he got it. And he's already got Patrick dressed like a fucking cop. And what's funny is the one guy goes, you look really familiar to me. And then, of course, Josh is like, what? I mean, yeah, like he looks like a rock star or something. Crazy. Crazy. And then all of a sudden the fucking guys are in the car and they look and the guy goes, I remember him now. He's the 7-0 model. He's like, we haven't made those in years.
Yep. And then boom, he just fucking
shot. Boom. He's dead. The other guy goes running.
Yeah.
Now Irish is fucking up. And she ends up saving that guy. And somehow reaches Patrick because she heard Eli and Patrick talking. So she like connected them and she was like, hey, you know.
Well, I was going to say also when she got rebooted because they rebooted her inside the truck. And then now everything's reset. So her aggression meter is gone. So now she can't hurt Patrick. She comes up to him.
Yeah.
With,
that's right.
Yeah, because Patrick's holding Teddy or whatever his name up against a tree. And then she comes up with the taser to hit him, and then she can't because she can't lie and she can't hurt anyone. So then she starts talking to Patrick after he throws Teddy down. And then he shocks her, and then she can't lie, and he knows she can't lie.
Yeah.
She starts talking about how he feels with Eli and vice versa, and then that somehow triggered memories inside his head.
And he's like, Romeo and Juliet just zapped his mouth and died.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, yeah. And then she makes friends with the tech guy. The tech guy goes, hey, you know what? I'm going to free you. And I'm like, oh my God, someone freed her, but it's in the end of the fucking movie and it's not even Josh. I was like,
Teddy.
I'm like, what is happening? Teddy saved the day. It was Teddy the whole time. Not Wanda, it was Teddy. Fucking Teddy frees her. So she's like, some people don't think of us as robots. Because even he says in the car, like, the one guy says, like, people are sick. They get these robots and they, like, abuse them or tie them up in basements. And, you know, they mod them and do stupid shit like this all the time. And he's like, you know, just the place is dark now. And she goes to Josh, and Josh is like, wow, does this bitch just not die? And he gets really weird. He has that moment where he's like, before he kills her, he wants to know, like, tell me that you need me. And she's like, I need you, Josh. And you're thinking, okay, he's going to just fucking kill her, right? Like, this is going to happen. She pops a fucking corkscrew, automatic corkscrew into his fucking brain.
Funny. They showed people using this kind of like automatic. Sergey used it once.
Yeah.
And then
they did use it a lot.
It was Sergey once, and then it was Kat or maybe Eli the second time.
Yeah.
And it's like both times.
And Patrick did too.
Yeah, both times they used it, the camera was like on that. And I'm like,
yeah,
is something gonna happen to that later? And then I totally forgot about it because after the second time it was maybe like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then she grabs that, puts it in his head, and then hits the button, and then the thing just starts drilling inside his head. And I was like,
his eye turning. I love when they do that.
It's like it's cool. It was like still don't think it would have that much pressure to go through his skull, but I mean it's cool.
Unless it suctions. Cool. I mean,
I don't know, maybe. Well, because he puts it on the wine. And I don't know.
And then
it's like it drills into the cork and then it pulls it up.
You're sounding like the 1-star reviewers now. You're like, it's obviously not realistic, guys. Okay.
Well, it could. I don't know. I haven't used it. I'm just like, I'm gonna go through the skull.
Yeah. At least far enough to make your eye just
because it's like right here, and just complete blood. It just blood right through his eye.
We're gonna draw some maps. Just how far. But that is funny though, because I didn't realize that they did like really eyeball. That's probably why they did that. They're like, hey guys, this is how it works. We're gonna use this as a murder weapon, but we need to make sure that you guys understand how this actually works. How deep does it go?
Subliminal messaging.
They need to see the bottom of it. Let's take a look-see. Yeah, that was funny. I really enjoyed the movie. It was I mean, not a lot of gore, but you know what? Honestly, it was way better because even though it had a lot of commercials, I don't know. I didn't like it wasn't a movie I was like, God, I have to see this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know what you mean.
But I'm glad I saw it. It was really, really good.
It was a fun one.
It was. I would definitely rate this one. We go to 10, right? No, we go to 5. What am I thinking? Always 10. Whew.
Oh.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna say,
well, I'll give it a 4.
Know. I was like, I'm gonna say let's say a 3. I'm saying a 3 just because of everyone knows I like gore.
Sure.
I thought it was going to be more gory because you advertised so much blood on the girl, but that was literally the only time that girl had blood on her. But also 2, I don't know. It just felt very like it felt very rushed at times. Like I felt like they could have really made the movie a little bit longer and it would have been way better if they just would have, I don't know, did some more shit to it. It just felt very like, okay, so we know that she's a robot and she killed the guy, and now we know that, they want to kill this guy for his money. And now we're going to bop, 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 everyone's dead. So now we're gonna do this. Like, I don't know. I felt like all those extra characters were kind of like, oh.
Mm-hmm. They were just there, just to pad it out.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was very like rushed. But yeah, I mean it was an overall good movie, but would I see it again? Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean if I'm bored. But it was good.
Maybe to show someone else, but just to casually watch it, possibly not.
Yeah. I mean, I would definitely, if you've never seen this movie, I would definitely watch it. I mean, it is good. I don't know, maybe they'll do a sequel called Companions.
No, Companions 2.0, just like Megan.
Yeah, right? Like the Companions 2.0, guys. They multiply. They bring Patrick back. Patrick comes back. Patrick is now good. He electrocuted himself, but he came to life and he recreated Eli, and now they're companions. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. So we'll move to our 1-star reviews.
Oh, let's see.
You know what? I could review this however many stars I want to. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I won't sound as ridiculous as most of these 1 stars.
But what's funny, like if you base it strictly off IMDb rating, this has 0.5 higher than Hard Eyes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
0.6. 0.6 higher. I thought it was 6.8.
It's probably hate clicks because Sony's such dicks. Ooh, that kind of rhymes. I should. So I pitched that as a t-shirt for them. Hey guys, I got a new t-shirt for you. This is when Liz gets fired.
Let's see. Search. There we go. 1 star.
United States, and then sort these reviews. God, I always have to like remember how to get to this. Review date.
This actually only has 3. It only has 3.
Wow. Okay. Look at them. Good for you guys. I mean, wow. You know what?
How many 5 stars are there? Actually, 10 stars. There's 16 10 stars. Yeah.
That's crazy.
There's only 3. Might as well just read all of them, I guess.
I mean, yeah, these are funny though.
Yeah, I'll read that bottom one.
Yeah, can you shoot that the one that's like a Bible verse? Like it is.
Yeah. All right. So this one's from Ryan Pottinger. Let me move it up here.
All right. Oh, I love when they put their full name. That means it's going to be real good.
Yeah, so this movie sucks and I hate myself for watching it. I hated it. I kept hoping that there would be something of substance to it, and boy, oh boy, I was disappointed. If you want to spend an hour and a half being slapped in the face with stupidity, this is the movie for you. Ben Stiller recently theorized that one of the reasons that Severance is so successful is because he and the writers trust their audiences to be smart, and it's clear that Companion goes in a different direction. The main character verbalizes her plans and actions before performing them, and the writers contradict their story by forgetting plot points and rules previously established in the narrative. I've never left a review before, and I'm surprised that it was this movie to unleash such unimaginable disgust in my limbic system to have to share my thoughts. At its core, The Companion is a lazy, unimaginative mess that is poorly acted and written. If I could invent a time machine and go back to any period of history, I would travel back just before entering the theater and pummel myself with the future fist to save myself this unbridled fury.
Okay.
Damn.
Wow. I don't think it was that bad.
That is
I mean,
pure
it was
hatred
like a
for the
good movie.
I don't think any movie we've done so far has had that much pure hatred.
Yeah. I feel like this has an underlining hatred, but he's like, they make gay robots. That is ridiculous. I don't understand it. Like, what the fuck? I didn't think, well, first of all, they're robots. So, like, wouldn't a robot tell you their plan
Yeah,
ahead of
especially if they
time?
can't lie.
Yeah. And just like, they can't lie, which she has not lied. And the one time she did lie was when she was released. And the other time she didn't lie, she just switched her language. I mean, other than that, this was a really good movie. I just wish there was more gore and maybe like more thought into the killing. I'm just really big into, you know, killing people creatively.
Of course.
But yeah, this is this is a weird, very unnecessarily hostile review. And they're like the only person. Like there's no one else. They're like, I'm just so mad. These robots are absolutely ridiculous. Oh god. This is good. I mean, I don't know. This is 2 paragraph. Weird. I don't know about this one. So the next one is, why am I not seeing their names? Oh, here we go.
Right? Yeah.
Annuity?
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 Yeah.
They sound smart already. And is titled What Could Have Been. The premise of this film had potential, but as often the chase, I knew they would fucking talk like this. It's like I predicted it. But as often the case, Hollywood took an interesting premise and destroyed it. This film is Hollywood filth from beginning to end. Well, maybe beginning to halfway, because that's about when I walked out. Oh, so you didn't even see the fucking whole movie. Can't wait to hear the rest. I can count on one hand. Oh, I can count on one hand number of films I've walked out of in my life. I expect the critics to love something like this, but I'm deeply disappointed that users gave this a good rating as they did. Such a sad commentary on collective morale, compass of our society. What? The premise of this film, it had potential, but as it often the case, the Hollywood took a wait. They just fucking repeated themselves. So that's it. That's the review. Yeah, that's it. Moral compass of a sad commentary. Are they? I feel that's another one who is underlining mad that there's a gay robot in this. They really need to get over it. I mean, they're not like banging it out. Like, I mean, if they did, I'm sure it's for 1 second, like, you know, Josh. I love the close up though. Well, since you read the long one, I'll read this one. Now I shop. This one got some thumbs up and some thumbs down. So maybe they made good points. The other 2 people were like, fuck off. So this one is labeled predictable. This was another Cineworld secret of screening film that we went to watch. As soon as the words "kill you" appeared on the lyrics, reversed that last word, we stated that was time for us to leave. What? As soon as the words "kill you" appeared in the lyrics, reverse that last word, were stated that was the time for us to leave. What the fuck are they talking about? Am I crazy?
I have no idea what that means.
Dude, they're tripping. Why are there so many horror films in the world these days? I think it's time to cancel the Cinema World membership to go back to something like Disney. First of all, it's actually a known fact that when the world is burning, people love watching horror movies. It makes them feel better. To make use of the required characters, are these time to add that? Oh my God, they had to be fucking drunk when they wrote this. Yes, it was quite funny when the oranges fell on the floor in the beginning scene. What? And that was all I could really remember. Maybe because you're drunk. So thank you very much in the world. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. And it's time to go. Thank you. Goodbye. Is this a suicide letter or a review? I am so confused. I mean, we went from like, let's go back to Disney to here's my last words before I die. This movie made me off myself. And 11 people said this was helpful. That's a joke. They did that to be funny and to keep this review on the top because I don't know what they were trying to say. Yeah. All right. Okay. On that note, yeah, we'll move on. Yeah, okay. That was it. That was a nightmare. That was weird. I'm scared. I don't know. I feel like that review like ate my soul. Yeah, I'm confused about the first sentence. Like the words "kill you" appeared on the lyrics reverse that last word.
It was a haiku, probably.
I was like, where? You like, I love how when people do like reviews, like, why didn't you tell us? Why are you not telling us where the fuck to see this thing that you saw? Or maybe you didn't see it. Maybe you are tripping on mushrooms going to the movie theater. I don't know. Maybe you're no longer existing because I don't know what the hell this is. That's crazy. So we are gonna move on to Hard Eyes. Like I said, no bias over here. I thought it was gonna be another failed horror movie. I even got excited for the AI one, and God, it went poop. It went poo poo, and like after it came out, there was not a lot. I didn't even get a lot of like horror community people doing a lot of the like teaser reels, like watching the coming previews, being like, "Oh man, this looks awesome." Hard Eyes blew up. Speaking of, if you go on the IMDb website, oh, Streamlabs is working. Look at that. That is the posters that we have. So if you're a Patreon, we're actually going to be giving our Patreons those posters. But yeah, that's the original text. And then as you can see, it got switched off to, I don't know what kind of text that is, but they should have stayed with the first one. I don't know whose call that was. It seems like a Sony call, but yeah. But Hard Eyes, it's a brand new killer, which it's nice to see a brand new killer work. This is the year. This has been the few years of new killers, which is nice because we have Terrifier. Now we're getting Hard Eyes. I feel like this is a guy that's going to come back. But what?
I was going to say, like, what I really liked about Hard Eyes, and I think there's very few writers that could pull this movie off, is that this movie has like the most tonal whiplash of any horror movie I've ever seen. Like there's points like you're watching it because it is very much 50-50, a slasher and a rom-com.
Yeah.
Like 100%. And like you're watching it and they do the whole meet cute. They're at the coffee. They order the same coffee. She hits him in the nose. Is bleeding. She runs out all awkward. Blah blah blah. This, and then like a little bit later, boom! It just immediately just cuts to him chasing. Yeah. I'm like, hold on, I forgot what we were watching.
And it's so funny because it has an automatic tone that it's a comedy. Even though you know that's a horror movie, like the beginning of the proposal, there you have like so the description IMDb gives is that for the past several years, the Hard Eyes killer has wreaked havoc on Valentine's Day by stalking and murdering romantic couples. This Valentine's Day, no couple is safe. I love the saying, stay safe, stay single. I live by those rules. Not by choice, but you know what? I'm still alive. But Josh Rubin directed this, which is part of the old College Humor group.
Well, the second I saw his name, I'm like, oh, now this all makes sense. Because you actually he's in the movie for like a split second.
Like, he makes a special appearance, which is hilarious.
Yeah, after one of the deaths, he's like, "Oh, someone call 911." I'm like, "Oh, there he is."
Yeah, the
I knew he was going to pop up somewhere.
Yeah. But it's in the beginning of the movie when they have the scene where the girl's like doing the proposal, and it's so fucking cheesy. And the guy goes, "Oh shit, I forgot that you said not to put the ring in the food." She's like, it's fine, just do it. And he's doing the proposal. Then afterwards he calls and he's like, hey, did you get that? You see that there's like a fucking photographer in the background, and he's like, actually there's like a sunbeam that kicked in and they're being dicks. So automatically I'm like, God, I can't wait for these people to die. And the wish came true. Hard Eyes just fucking comes in and Cupid arrows the fuck out of this dude's camera while he's looking into it. So now the photographer's dead. And then he fucking shoots the fiance in the fucking head. And another one where they have the eyeball just whoop. Which I don't know. Something about that I just love. It's like, I don't know. It's almost funny, but it's not funny because it's too real, but it's also funny. I don't know. But he's dead, and now the girl's fucking running. And it's just so funny because she's running the fucking cornfield and she gets shot in the foot. She's like, "You're ruining my engagement, and I'm the worst bridezilla." Like, just fucking.
They're at a vineyard.
Yeah. They're at the vineyard.
Yeah.
I'm just like, this is fucking crazy. I forgot, what is he? Oh yeah. Oh my God, that's right. I was like, what the fuck is that machine she's in?
Yeah, it took me a second because I forgot they're at a vineyard. Yeah, he shoots her once, and then she's kind of limping, and then she starts talking shit, and then she runs into like a barn or whatever the fuck it is. It probably is a barn.
Yeah, it was a barn.
Yeah, she gets inside a machine, and then it's like, if you're not fully paying attention, you'd forget. But I'm like, oh yeah, I know what she's in. Yeah, she ends up going in a machine.
Like a wine squeezer, right? Like squeeze the grapes.
It's I don't know what the fuck you call it, but yeah, she goes in it because she's trying to hide from him, and then he finds her, and then he puts his hand in and she smashes his fingers, and then he's like, all right, bet. And then he shuts it, locks it, turns it on. Yeah, it's the machine that you put all the grapes or whatever in, and then it pushes
squish.
And then it's squished, and then she puts her face up on like the little window as it's going in, and then you
just see her fucking eyes pop out, just like gone,
just like a grape.
That's I had a moment where I forgot where she was. I'm like, is that a farm? Wait, where are they? Because I'm like, it has to be a farm now because the barn. And then I was like, is she in like a tub of piss? Like, what is this thing? And then I realized, like, oh, grapes. All right, that makes sense. But yeah, I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, then I don't remember if it cut to the cops after that or if it cut to the coffee shop. It went right to the cops.
Oh wait. No, they did the coffee shop because oh wait, no. They went to the cops first because they had to do the whole explanation of who the fuck this guy is.
It's just for the fact that they got Jordana Brewster and Devin Sawa to play the two detectives. Yeah. I'm like, you couldn't get more fucking slasher 90s than getting both of them to play detectives. And it's always like, it's nice seeing Jordana Brewster, but it's extra nice seeing Devin Sawa because you don't really ever see him because he's from Final Destination and then Idle
Well, he was
Hands.
in Chucky.
Yeah, as I was say, recently he was in the Chucky TV series, but it's just so funny. And then they make a joke later because I didn't even catch on to it until she pointed out, but their detective names is Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh, they made a Fast and Furious joke. And she was in Fast and Furious, so that's kind of funny.
Yep. They were like,
yeah.
The one girl goes like,
Shaw?
Hobbs and Shaw?
Like
they're like, we didn't, no, what? That's
but before all that, it cuts to them because they're detectives trying to figure out what happened there. And then it kind of cuts back to the rom-com nature of it. So they're just doing typical cop banter. And then she's as they're investigating, she's also on a dating app trying to find someone
right. She's like, by the way, she's on a dating app during Valentine's Day, knowing that there's a killer out that kills couples on Valentine's Day. If there's any time to not be on a dating app,
it's probably that.
It's that time. Like, could you just wait the one day?
I'm pretty sure he pointed that out to her or something. Yeah, he also pointed out that it's like, why don't you go for a real man?
Yeah,
like me.
He wanted a piece of her. She did not want anything to do with him. It was and they were having like relationship talks while fucking picking up pieces of like the girl's head.
Blood.
Yeah. So now that you know that like there's a killer out, when they're in a coffee house, you see them talking about like, hey, it seems like the Hard Eyes killer has arrived, because they say that he like jumps to city to city to city every Valentine's Day. So it's not like he's killing in one city. He travels, and the girl works for that like jewelry shop. So it's supposed to be this girl at her job is me at my job all the time. They were like, what?
Oh, no, sorry. I forgot like who her boss is, but she fucking cracks me up at everything she does. And she was such a bitch in this. Like, she's so good at just playing a bitch. But this time she went with like a southern accent for some reason.
Yeah.
But
oh my god,
because they did that, and then she's like, oh, she's gonna get fired, and then they went to the coffee shop. That's right.
I was like, they don't.
I forgot like what happened exactly.
They don't even have her as like a main character on here. That's insane to me.
Well, it's weird if you look at the cast list; it makes no sense. But regardless,
like what? I'm like, okay, but she her boss is the normal like Devils Wear Prada, and then you have and of course you have like what the hell? They have
their castings all
over the place. You guys are IMDb. You're no fucking Allie. There we go. Fucking Allie. Thanks, IMDb. You guys suck.
It's funny because you find out what her pitch was. And her pitch was obviously the big.
Oh my god! That's They go. Like, you're being canceled.
Like her fucking pitch was about death. Like, death do you part or whatever. And they showed like the marketing videos for it. Like, this is terrible, bro. It's all black and white. They do like the Romeo and Juliet. They do the Jack and Rose. It's like, why is this how you want to sell diamonds?
All these people killing themselves for love, and the boss was like, you knew that there was a Valentine's Day killer killing couples, and you still made this. And the whole thing is that she's scorned,
of course,
because she just got like broken up with or whatever, and her boyfriend's already moved on, so she keeps checking on him.
And remember, she broke up with him.
Oh yeah. Because then she like goes to the coffee house. She already ran into the one dude and then finds out that he's actually the guy they called in to help her save the company after her fumble with that commercial. And he's like, oh, don't worry. And like, he's like the sweetest guy. He's like, oh, don't worry. I'm not here to take your job. I'm just here to like, be here for you.
It was the coffee shop first because that's where they did their meet cute.
Yeah.
Because she ordered a very obnoxious white girl drink that they always do because it's a rom-com. And then she goes up to get it. And I'm like, this is my drink. I'm like, no one else would order this. And they say the entire thing with the coffee drink is. I'm like, oh, I guess.
Oh my God. I love that the cafe dude was like, yeah, everyone buys that drink. Okay. Can you please move?
And then they're
like, no one else orders this.
Yeah, they go to sit down. They sit down together, and then he hands her a straw, and then she pulls out her fucking metal straw.
Oh my God! Yeah, they do the whole bumping heads thing.
Yeah, I don't know if she dropped that or she dropped a napkin or whatever. They go to pick it up. They bump heads. They do it again. She hits her. His nose starts bleeding. I'm like, typical. But before that, I was like, oh yeah, a paper straw and a plastic cup, really saving the environment. And I'm like,
oh yeah, and she carries around her metal straw, and that becomes funny at the end of the movie. But so they're now like together, and they have to like save her job. So they need, and he leaves in like one night. So basically, he's there for Valentine's Day. He shoots his shot.
Well, it wasn't even that because she was in the bathroom with her coworker friend, and then he comes in. I forgot what exactly he says, and it's like
he was saying
bathroom. Like technically it's a unisex bathroom, and she's like, all right, whatever. And then he pretty much.
By the way, wait. Can I make a observation here? Did you see the bathrooms they were in?
Yeah,
they had like floor to ceiling walls and doors, which by the way, I worked at a place that had that. It's amazing. But they had fucking sinks in there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wasn't that a sink that they were laying on? Like that's Probably. Insane. I was like, does every fucking toilet have a sink? I'm like, that is crazy.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, okay.
But yeah, it was funny. He pretty much told her that, like, yeah, we're going to dinner tonight. Like, we're going on a date because I'm going to do yoga right now, so I'm late, so we can't really talk. And then we're gonna go to dinner, and then just pretty much forcing her to go. And it's like, oh, because he's trying to be slick, he's trying to be cute.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's being all nice, and things like, I'm fine, whatever, we'll go. And then of course,
she's like, it's a meeting too.
Yeah, and it's like, remember, this is a rom-com, so after you get invited to a nice date with the cute guy, you have to go get clothes. So then they take,
and her friend's dating the old rich guy that you never see throughout the whole fucking movie. By the way,
she's dating
you don't see
dating the not sugar daddy.
So, the not sugar daddy.
They take his credit card and they go on the getting the perfect outfit.
The montage.
Yeah, the montage.
We gotta do the fashion montage where they all try on outfits, and then they're done, and she's ready to go on her business meeting that is in like the fanciest restaurant, I guess, in town. That was funny. I was like, okay. And then he like basically is late, and then he gets his fucking head bitten off by her. Because she's like, he did his thing where he's like,
he's trying
to be scored, weren't you?
He's showing he's being interesting in her, asking her questions, all this. And yeah, she just fucking goes off on him. I'm like, okay, that's a bit much.
Yeah.
It's like,
and
then he's like,
and she's like, right, I see where you are. She's like, you do this and you do that, and you're like the hopeless romantic. She's like, but that's not true, and relationships don't last, and da 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 da. And she's going on with this negative thing.
Yeah, because he already knows that she's like, obviously she's going through something, which she is, and then she's just super bitter and all this. Well, sure, most of the time you will be. But yeah, the way she goes off, I was like, all right, cool. And then he just leaves. and then they go out. She storms out after him, as you do. And then when she does that, out of nowhere, she just decides to kiss him. And it's like, oh.
Well, because it's her ex is coming out of the cab. So then she kisses him to make it look like, I mean, the good part is he knew the assignment. He was like, yeah, we're boyfriend, girlfriend. They had like the awkward interaction with her ex, which the funny part about that is that ex said that they knew the people who got murdered, but they still, and the guy goes, oh, but you still kept your reservation? Like they were supposed to go with them to the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he's like, but there's really good reservation though. And he goes, I hope you guys don't get murdered. They're like, why would you say stuff like that? And then again, like you said, they go back into that rom-com where they're in the cab and she loses her keys.
Well, like, yeah, before that, like with that kiss, it pans out and you see someone watching.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hard Eyes sees the kiss or just the interaction. But yeah, then it goes to the cab and it's just the typical rom-com bullshit that you always see. Gets to her apartment or whatever. She doesn't have her keys because she lost them, of course. The cab driver is like, oh, you should go out for a confess your love to her, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not going to do that. Then they go in there and then he's like, oh, it's like, I'll just break the window. The landlord's cool with me. It's like,
yeah, they cut his fucking hand.
I'll do it. And then he pulls out a handkerchief, like, oh, for the perfect occasion, does that, boom. Oh, that's not good. It starts bleeding.
Yeah, literally, he was like, I got this, don't worry. It was a fail.
It's just how nonchalant. He's like, yeah, that's not good.
The interactions are just funny. The whole, like,
it's so deadpan and just so quick.
Because like they get into her apartment, she's like, it's dirty. He's my housekeeper. She won the lottery. And he goes, oh. Like, and she's like, where did he go? Like she told him to sit and he sat on her bed and she goes, oh, why didn't you sit on the couch? And he goes, oh, I didn't want to ruin your clothes. Cause it was like just fucking piles of clothes on there. Mm-hmm. I've been in a few chicks' houses that looked like that. And I've been in that situation where it's like, where you fucking sit? Like, what are you talking about? Where do you want to sit? I guess I'm just going to sit on your bed.
It was just like all these like very convenient like setups. Like, oh, he cut his hands and now she has to stitch him up. Oh, while she's stitching him, I was like, oh, you're really good at that. Yeah, I was going to medical school and then I dropped out. And now I'm just doing marketing.
Because of blood.
And then as she's doing that, they go for another setup where she just happens to have her vibrator on her nightstand.
That was the funniest fucking part is like her talking.
It's just all these perfect setups for the next scene. Yeah. It's like,
there's been many.
Can't see that.
There's been many people who've had that.
Yeah.
So many people have had that scenario. Many of women have had that scenario where you've had someone in your bedroom and you've been like, fuck, I forgot I left something out. You got to find the way to like distract, but yet do some kind of like secret move to maneuver and like to put it away. Like, whatever. Like, it does that.
Yeah, it was fun. So she got up. She was able to like somehow skirt around and pick it up, and then she walks to her closet to throw it in there. When she opens her closet, boom, Hard Eyes is there, just jumps out. I'm like, whoo, all right, now we're back into the. I forgot this is a horror movie. I
love that she like the first reaction is for her to throw the vibrator at him, and he's actually like, like what the fuck, like what was that? And she fucking like. They go through the whole thing, like even when he's trying to kill them and they go in the bathroom and he looks over at her, he's like, how are you doing? She's like, I'm doing, and then just like a fucking knife through the door, and they're running out and they're trying to go into the cab and they fucking blow the cab dude's brains out, like, and then it just starts, like it just never stops the whole movie.
It's just funny. They run across the street. And it's like, why the fuck are you chasing us? We're not together. Kill someone else. And then he just pauses for a second. He pauses for a second. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And they just starts going after him again. I'm like,
yeah. Right. They had like, that was so funny too, because like they were saying that, but then they would always end up in situations where it looked like they were together. Because then they had the one time when they landed on each other and then they went to go in for another kiss and then they just stop and go and turn at Hard Eyes and say, we're not together, God. They just keep going. It's like, what the fuck? But everyone is getting murdered. Everyone is literally getting murdered as Hard Eyes is going after this couple. So they're just, Hard Eyes is just fucking killing people left and right. And like, these are some gruesome kills, which I enjoy. The best scene of this movie, honestly, is the drive-in scene. Where they're just like, we just brought Hard Eyes into this like Valentine's Day drive-in, like, what the fuck? Like, everyone's gonna get murdered. Everyone's gonna fucking die here. And so they're running and they're trying to hide. And of course, Hard Eyes is just fucking chopping away at everybody as he's trying to get these people. And then they hide in that fucking van with the hippies. The hippies that start banging away, and they're like, shh. Like, you could see Hard Eyes like creeping, and then they're like, shh. And of course, they're still having a fucking rom-com moment because they're just like, the girl's like, I haven't had a good, I mean, I know that I should be saying this, but this is like one of the best days I've had in a while. He's like, really? And then they're telling each other like they're like issues with their parents, how their parents relate. Like, they're literally having a date, like the world's most violent date. Like,
I think that's after the police station though.
Yeah, well, because what happens is, oh no, yeah, it is after.
Yeah, because
they have a whole scene where they have a whole scene
because when they're the initial chase, they end up running to like the fairgrounds or some shit.
Yep.
Or whatever it was, and then the Hard Eyes goes after her, and then
that's right. I totally forgot about that.
What's his name in this movie?
The boyfriend, right? Or not
Colin?
The boyfriend,
no.
Sorry. Yeah, they I believe it's Patrick.
No, it's not Patrick. That's different. Is it Patrick in this too?
Dude, IMDb, dude. This like list, you guys suck.
It's Jay.
Yeah, it's Jay.
So he's going after her, and then Jay like side tackles them or something, and then they start going at it.
Yeah.
He throws Jay against like the wall or something, and he's kind of like knocked out a little bit, and then she just books it.
She's fucking gone. Yeah, that was so funny. She was like,
just bailed on him. He's like, what the fuck? And then
what's bad about that is he gets arrested because of that. She's like, you left me.
Yeah, because she ends up on a carousel, and then Hard Eyes starts the carousel, and then then she starts going after her on that, and then that's when the police come. They're like, oh, we caught Hard Eyes. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean? Because he was just there.
And everyone's celebrating. They're like, you guys are you are the people who caught Hard Eyes. You guys are like the heroes. You are the person that caught and killed or whatever Hard Eyes because they pinned it on Jay.
Yeah, I fucking knew it. It's like he disappeared. It's like somehow he acquired the outfit and now he's getting blamed.
Yeah. And I was like, I'm imagining Hard Eyes probably just like put the outfit on him or whatever, knowing that he was knocked out. But like, what's funny is you have her, she goes to the police department and she's trying to like save him, which by the way, as he's getting interrogated, they do this weird like good cop, bad cop thing. But then the good cop becomes like flirty cop.
I was gonna say, it wasn't like, good flirting cop, with him. It was bad cop, flirty cop.
Yeah, so they're like flirting with him. And he's like, what the hell's happening? So what's her name's in front of the police station, and she's trying to basically like be like, hey, can you release him? He was my date. Like, what are you guys doing? And of course they're being dicks to her. And all of a sudden the lights go out because you have the one agent comes out to talk to the girl, and she's like, hey, like, calm the fuck down. It's gonna be a while. And the lady in the front, like before any of this happened, there was like a weird moment with the IT guy, And he's like, hey, do you want to go on a date?
So I'm gonna shoot my shot, man.
Yeah, and she goes, I almost died today, so no, he goes, oh, it's fine. I totally understand. I'm so sorry that I asked you. And then like the fucking lights go out, and the one like receptionist to the police station, that officer is being a smartass to her because she goes with the fucking flashlight. She's like, oh, no killers in here. And then all of a sudden the fucking Hard Eyes grabs the pole to the flag and just fucking shoves it in her, lifts
Just
her
fucking
up
lift her
like a fucking kebab, and just lets her just fucking sit there bleeding. And they have this whole scene where they're just like, what the funniest part is when she gets the lady's gun and tries to save Jay while he's in the witness, like the the questioning chamber, I guess you call it. I don't fucking know what you call it. But then she starts fucking shooting, but she's shooting like everywhere to get Hard Eyes out because he's locked in there with Hard Eyes.
Yeah, because he's literally, because that's when Mr. Bad Cop Devin Sawa went back in there, and then he ended up leaving because he heard gunfire.
Yep.
So then Jay's still locked up. He's got the one handcuff on his arm to the table, so he can't do shit. And then Hard Eyes walks in, and I'm like, he's not going to do anything. And then no, he starts going after Jay. I'm like, what the fuck, man? So Jay's like chained up. He can't do shit. Hard Eyes trying to get him, and then all of a sudden you hear the clinks on the glass, and then it shatters, and you just see Hard Eyes, you see Jay, and then she's still firing. It's hitting literally everything but both of them somehow. And then Hard Eyes just dips out, and then they have their little meet.
He's like,
she tries to jump over. She jumps over the broken glass, falls on the ground. I'm like, oh Jesus Christ! It's
literally. That's where they go. They do the whole run, and they get to like the drive-in.
No. Before that, that's when Devin Sawa he's running.
Oh yeah, he gets it right in the nuts.
Run into Hard Eyes, and then Hard Eyes gets the knife, goes right in his stomach, carves it up,
right in his balls.
That's what right between his legs.
Yeah, right in the nutsack. They just got it right in there. I was like, this was, by the way, I was in the theater with literal children next to me watching. I was by myself. I'm sitting there eating my popcorn, and there's like a fucking tickle fight happening next to me, and I'm like, what is happening? What conversations are going to occur after this? Like, I'm not judging about parenting, bringing kids to horror movies, because I watched horror movies, probably rated R ones as a child. Look how I came out. But like, I don't know. I feel like these kids weren't the norm. I feel like kids that watch horror movies are like the best acting kids, honestly. They'll just sit there and they watch it and they love it. But like, these kids were obviously not excited and did not give a shit about what's happening. I think this was like a daddy pick, and then he was just like, yo, yeah, kids, come on. And he was even talking about like all the movies he's taken them to, like the horror movies, which was funny though. But I'm like, okay, I mean, this is a comedy, but also, I mean, it's pretty fucking gory, but I guess you should learn about death at some point in time, right? But yeah, that was weird, because then it got really uncomfortable, because I knew that van moment was going to happen. And I was like, I'm going to have to sit next to these fucking kids, and there's going to be like people fucking. And like the whole time they're talking in that van hiding from Hard Eyes, you hear like them slowly being like, and it gets louder.
That's why it was so funny, because that's happening. But while that's happening, they're both in the front seats, like literally like saying the
having a moment
things to each other. Yeah, having a moment, learning about each other, learning the ins and outs. And then every time there's just like a tiny like piece of like dead space, you start hearing them in the back again. I'm like,
awkward. They're like, shut the fuck up, because they got so loud. They're like, shut up. And then all of a sudden you see the fucking back door open, and you see the hippie dude's like, oh man. And he fucking gets the what do you call that? What is the
tire iron? The tire
iron.
Yeah,
shoves it in his mouth, he fucking takes the other hippie girl who is just screaming while this is happening, takes her, fucking impales her through the head with it, and then you just see them through her mouth. And this has been on all the coming previews, so it's like the best death scene. I don't know though. It's a toss up. But then like another favorite part. That's why I'm like the drive-in scene. The drive-in scene is like fucking hilarious because then obviously they run because Hard Eyes have now killed the hippies. And they're like running and everyone's like leaving the theater, the drive-in, and they had the moment where she's like, no, like we brought him here and now he's killing all these people because of us. And you said we're together. So are we going to do this together? And they hold their hands and you have this dramatic, romantic music. And they go, we need a weapon. And Jay goes, I have an idea. I know where there's a weapon. And he goes back to the hippies and they have the romantic music and they both just grab on and hold each other's hands onto the fucking thing to pull it out of the dude's mouth. And he's like, I'll help you. And they pull it out. I'm just like, oh my God. It was just too funny. And then, of course, they have it out of course with Hard Eyes and end up beating the fuck out of him and killing him.
I forgot because she killed him, but I forgot what she killed him with.
She had not the tire iron. She had something else that was heavy. I want to say like a lamp or something, if I remember.
I honestly don't remember what it was because
I think it was I think it was a lamp because she like went to grab something from a side of a car and just like whacked him, and that's when he cried blood because you see blood coming out of the eye. And then now they're just like, oh yeah, like you guys are innocent, you saved everyone.
Well, the funny part, because they unmasked them because they normally don't.
Oh yeah, and it's like some random guy.
Them, like, who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah, it's like some random dude. Which I knew something was up because I was like, that. I go, there's no fucking way this is the end of the movie.
Yeah, and then they get to the ambulance. They have the blankets on like you always do for whatever fucking reason.
Oh yeah.
And
of course the creeper fucking detective is like, you need a ride. Well, first of all, the girl rejects them. They just went through life and death.
Yeah,
they had all those romantic, talks, and at the end of it, she just still fucking.
Like, well, because he invites her back because he still has to leave tomorrow.
Yeah, his I give him props. Wedding. Dead or not, that man is shooting his shot and he just keeps going. He's like, you know what? If I keep asking her, she's gonna say yeah.
Yeah, because he invites back. It's like, we still got to work on this proposal. Why don't you come back and we'll work it out tonight? And she's like, yeah, I can't. I shouldn't do it. And then he's like,
I'm covered in blood.
It's like, fine, I'll write down my number. And then you just, I'll call you later or whatever. And then the cop ends up taking him back. And then she gets back to her apartment. She's watching kind of. Yeah, predator. She goes back to her apartment. She's watching the same movie that was playing at the drive-in.
Oh God, and then
she's got her PJs on, comfy, talking to her best friend. She has that moment. Yeah,
she's got that moment where she's like, "Girl, I think I made a mistake," and of course he's on his way to the fucking airport, like, and she's like, "I gotta go to the airport," and she fucking gets to the airport. Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna go, and she goes in her fucking sweats, and then she like thinks the one guy is him and hugs him. It's like some fucking strange guy. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, then she gets a random phone call from an unknown number, and then it's Hard Eyes, of course, and then she hears Jay in the background, and then she ends up going to
save his life. I love how she takes off her scarf. She's like, now I'm ready. I'm taking off my scarf.
Like, It's funny. She goes to the St. Valentine's Church. It's pretty much really reminiscent of like Scream 2, where at the end you see the boyfriend up in the middle of the theater.
Yeah.
And then you see Hard Eyes there. And then Hard Eyes just takes off his mask. And lo and behold, it's the IT guy.
It's the Predator. And the Predator.
Well, no, not yet. It was just the IT guy. I'm like, what the fuck is the IT guy killing people?
Yeah, there was a lot of moments where I was like, this cannot be the ending. Like, the killer could not
funny.
Be like the IT guy and a rando.
It was so funny because it was the IT guy. Then he starts saying a bunch of shit and then goes on his monologue. And then all of a sudden you hear another voice. I'm like, of course. Yeah, it was the detective. There were husband and wife or whatever, and then they just had a throuple.
They're a throuple, remember? Because they said the other guy was expendable.
Yeah,
and it was their kink. That's the whole.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like they kept talking about like kinks and stuff throughout the movie.
That's why they killed.
That was their kink, is literally killing people that are in love, or killing couples specifically.
And that's what's funny is they gave the end of the movie in the beginning, because in the beginning she says they're doing this because it's a kink, and she ended up being Hard Eyes. She gave the reason why they're doing it, and they're still detecting it, and she's like, "Oh yeah, it's just because it's a kink."
And also, they even said that the only reason they went after them is because they were originally going to go after her ex and his girlfriend, because the couple thing. But then they saw the kiss, and they saw that chemistry, and like, I want that. That's who I want to go after. So
they're like, you don't know the chemistry you had
on that one.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck? And then of course they give her the choice to either shoot herself or him, which is funny because it's like the fucking commercial. It's like the Romeo and Juliet. So now she's got to live out the bad decision of her canceled commercial now and have this romantic scene with him. And she has this whole fucking speech, and you think she's gonna blow her head off, and then all of a sudden she shoots Jay in the shoulder, which goes past him and shoots the cop lady in the gut.
Yeah.
In the gullets. And then she's now bleeding. And then all fucking hell breaks loose.
Yeah,
because now they're fighting. What?
I forgot what the IT guy's name was. Whatever.
Yeah, he's an IT guy. That's literally he's the specialist.
Yeah, it's just funny calling him the IT guy. But yeah, it's like he sees that she got shot, and he's like, "Oh fuck!" Blah, blah, blah. Starts going crazy, and then I think Jay did something or tripped him or whatever.
Yeah, so Jay was on the ground because he got knocked down when they were all fighting, and the IT guy was like, "I'm gonna finish you off," and he went to he was gonna stab him or whatnot. I forgot. And he basically tripped, and Jay grabbed the arrow that he had and just went next. Oh, he got him right in the fucking the eye and the nose combo. It was so it was so weird.
He did that.
It was the weirdest fucking injury to have. It was something out of a construction job. A construction worker would be like, "Oh shit, guys! I go to the hospital." It was so weird because then he got him in the fucking face, and she got her somewhere. I forgot where.
Because he got him in the face with the arrow, and then he's kind of going blind, obviously, and then he ends up tripping. I think he starts going after her again. He ends up tripping over all the candles, and then he just gets the candles start melting on him. He's getting lit on fire, and then he's kind of down and out now. And then she's going after, or she's fighting the cop again. Yeah, and then she's having her bullshit monologue like you always do, and she ends up pushing her into the Saint Valentine statue, and then she gets. I thought she got impaled in the chest. But no,
that's what I thought.
Arrow went right through her neck, and then it went all the way through. It's like a thick arrow, and then she's sitting there, and then she's like blood starts coming out, and then like the weight, because she wasn't all the way on the ground, she's just slowly becoming decapitated, and then also the body.
I love how the girl's just sitting there like.
Oh yeah, because
like her first kill.
That's the part we forgot. That's the part we forgot. So the whole thing when he way backtrack when Jay cut his hand and then she's sewing him up, she explained why she dropped out of medical school, because she doesn't like blood. And then there's a couple moments like she puked. Okay, that was the funny part.
Oh yeah, too.
When they killed the first Hard Eyes, she just fucking I don't know what she ate.
Pukes all over him.
She puked all over him.
She's like, I'm gonna get sick. And it's like just a dead body covered in vomit.
It's just Hard Eyes. It's like this big ass burly dude. He's just blood and vomit now. All over him. Yeah, but then
vomit and dead.
Yeah, they cut back to her, like she's decapitated, her head falls off, and she's just staring, covered in blood. Like obviously doesn't affect her anymore.
I laughed so hard. This movie made me. I don't really laugh when I watch movies, and if I do actually have a real laugh, that like it's really slim and in between. And this one made me like chuckle, LOL out loud, a few times. And that the puke one was. The tire iron was the part where the fucking lady, like the scene, you see her like in shock because she just like killed somebody, but then she's getting squirted with blood, and then you slowly see her and her body just blip, and then her head fucking falls, and then she turns to Jay and is like, I guess I got out of I guess I got over my blood like fear or whatever.
Yeah,
and then they giggle.
And there's always and there's always that one rule about slasher movies: the killer always comes back for one more scare. So,
they were.
Yeah, she goes back to Jay because Jay's still on the ground. I don't know if he's like handcuffed or what, but and then while she's like kind of like on top of him, the IT guy just comes back up, and then. Oh, we forgot about she stabbed the cop with the straw in the neck.
Oh yeah, that's how she got her. What's fucked too is that was what was fucked about the head thing, and that's kind of what made me giggle. So she uses her metal straw to stab her from the bottom of her jaw up. So what was happening was, even though she stabbed her in the throat, that straw was keeping her alive and breathing until it fucking tore her body apart. So basically, I forgot what you call it when you want to save someone and you puncture their wind tunnel, their throat. Right. A tracheotomy. We're not doctors, guys. So a triotomy, a tracheotomy.
Yeah, whatever. But
that thing.
That's what you did.
That thing. And I was like, dude, that is fuck, because you hear her breathing while she's like slowly getting torn apart. Like that was jacked. And then they kill the guy. And then the ending was cute too, because of course they have their whole thing where they're together now. Yeah, 1 year later. They're in a fancy convertible. Why? I don't know. And they're having like their 1 year anniversary in the drive-in where, like, I don't know, a bunch of people got murdered, and they mention it. They're like,
well, remember, before that, they were back at her job, and then that's when you find out, like, I'm gonna quit my job. I'm gonna go back to medical school and finish that because
because they're like they're like a couple who's perfect at their job and working together. Like just this ridiculous, like. Now they're in the drive-in, and he goes, I know you're gonna get scared because of, blah blah blah, commitment. And he's like, would you move in with me? And then she's like, no, I want to get married.
No, that's not how she said it. That's not how she said it. It's like, I don't want to move in with you. I just want you. And then she pulls out, because you think he's gonna propose because he pulls out a ring case and he opens it and it's a key. And then she's like, no, I want you. And then she pulls out a ring case.
Yeah.
And then she opens
And
it,
he
and it's a ring. He's like,
proposed.
"Will you marry me?" I'm like, "Oh, Jesus fucking Christ!"
Yeah. And then she gets a
so
fucking phone call.
Yeah.
And it's a fuck. She thinks it's a fucking killer because it's like, "Hello, welcome," and it ends up being her crazy ass friend, who I love. She's so fucking random. That character is like,
Mhm.
why are you even in this movie? It's I don't know, but she's in it,
Yeah.
and she kills it because she's sitting there and she's like, "Haha, I'm just joking." Like your friend just had a trauma moment, and she's like, "Ah, you thought he was still alive, but he's not." And she's sitting there with the fucking camera, like the cameraman in the beginning. She's like, "Did you get the shot?" She's like, "Girl, I got you." Um, so and that is in the end credits, by the way. So like, if you don't wait for the end credits, you won't see that last part. I Googled it. Everybody left the theater, and I always do this. I always Google before the end of a movie is their end credits, so I know if I could leave or not. But
Yeah.
I love this movie. And again, my rating is solely off of just me, not like what everyone else likes, because it's got gore and comedy. Sign me up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give this a full 5.
Same. It
I'm
was
like,
so good.
it was
Like I said,
so good.
I don't think I've ever seen a movie that, because this wasn't a parody by any means. It
Yeah, no.
legitimately was. It legitimately was an actual like rom-com that just
Yep.
happened to be very bloody. And I was like,
It was done perfectly.
yeah, because I was curious because I saw Josh Rubin and I was like, oh, and it's like he directed, like who wrote it? And I saw Christopher Landon, and it's like, Christopher Landon, he's the one that made Freaky or Happy Death Day. I'm like, okay, see, now this all makes sense.
You're like, now I get it.
Now I see where all the comedy's coming from. Yeah.
I don't think I'm sure the 1-star reviews are going to be entertaining for this one.
Yeah, they're all wrong.
Just because it is a comedy and a horror. So you're going to get those horror fans that, just want to shit on it just to shit on it. Yep, as I predicted. I could just already tell you that it is what it is. It is exactly what I said it was.
Just shit on it.
Oh yeah, because it's like a rom-com, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But to be fair though, this also just has 3 1-stars.
Oh, 4. I see 4. One of
4.
them.
Wait.
Well, how long is the spoiler one? Kind of long. Yeah, it's got 4. Boring soap made by a guy who saw Scream and didn't get it. All right, that might be funny. Yeah. Surviving the Horror Fest, not my cup of tea, and then horrible.
Here, well, do you want to do what we did last? Oh yeah, that's right. There is 4.
That's fine.
Do you want to do? Yeah, we'll do the what? You want to do the long one?
Yeah, I'll do the 2 top ones.
Okay.
So I'll read the Scream one. So this one's made by the Sea Lion. That's his name.
Yeah, the Sea Lion.
Yeah, so
There's
made
Disney.
by a guy who saw Scream and didn't get it. It's like when Wes Craven made Scream, he had an understanding of the horror and slasher genre and to make a well-made horror slasher film that simultaneously satirized the genre. When Josh Rubin and the writers made Hard Eyes, I don't know what they were attempting. The film opens with a problematic couple getting killed on the day of her proposal. The couple is presented as unlikable, but not in any way that justifies their awful fates. In an overdone and ultimately lackluster beginning. No, there wasn't a pause. Yeah. All right, cut to our main character, Allie. Yeah, cut to our main character, Allie. She's single, off a bad relationship, and happens to meet the perfect man at a coffee shop. The problem? He's been employed to the same company as her to make mistakes she made, to fix the mistakes she made.
Yeah.
A forced and non-charismatic relationship subplot follows this. A cast of characters are added to the drama based on the aforementioned, but they all mostly disappear after the 30-minute mark. It ends up being 2 people who aren't believably in love running away from a serial killer. This herein lies one of the biggest issues with the movie. The antagonist has no motivation. They're angry at couples. Why? It's not even angry. The opening plus
Yeah,
the circumstances surrounding the hunted characters would suggest the killer is motivated by false love, but that's not the case. The story ends with the typical villain defeat, but the confused sense of what the movie was trying to do. Hard Eyes is terrible at every genre it tries to be, and it's a terrible movie. I mean, the whole thing is kind of ironic from by saying made by a guy who saw Scream and didn't get it.
yeah,
I
because
mean,
he
it's pretty
didn't get
obvious
this.
why they did it. Their motivations was a kink. It
Yeah,
wasn't they
like
hated it.
he obviously
They loved
didn't
it.
watch.
It was the complete
Yeah, they
opposite.
literally
They loved
say it.
it.
They say it not once but twice. So just in
Yeah.
case if you missed the first time,
If
the
they say
second
it in the
time,
final, the IT guy says it in the final monologue.
and they're not in love. They literally say that too. Hey, we're not together.
Yeah.
Like until the end. Like
Yeah, and
so
they
yeah,
explained exactly why they went after them specifically.
yeah. Yeah. Isn't it ironic? Yes, it
Mhm.
is. That's funny. That usually these kind of reviews are exactly what it is. Because every review we've ever read that ends up
Yeah.
being something like this is always someone who wasn't really paying attention to the movie in the beginning. Like, just was like, I don't like this for some stupid reason, so I'm just gonna be an
Just hate
asshole
on
and type,
it.
yeah, hate on it, but then I'm gonna give like wrong facts. Like, it just doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense. What a hot mess. All right, can't wait. Oh my god, I want to hear the other one you're gonna read just because in the end it says yada 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 yada. Thank you for quoting Seinfeld. This is what I really want to see in a review.
You want me to read that one now?
Yeah.
Okay. So this one from I don't know what that says,
Uh-huh.
but it's just called Boring Soap. Lamest soap
Yeah.
opera with 5 seconds of slasher footage. Bad no setting hour of two idiots chatting in a cafe/bar. 2 second slash boring lengthy chatting again. Who could they portray this as a movie? Hope this gets called out for the farce this is, and we are never subjected to this wishy-washy attempt at monster romance at Valentine's Day time. Also, why in the world do they require so many words in these reviews? Anyway, so 7 years ago, one forefathers brought forth onto the continent and a new nation conceived in liberty. Yada 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 yada. Who?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the
I
review.
also this has to be either friends with the other dude that was tripping on mushrooms, because I mean, I feel like as someone who is horrible at writing grammar, I know to triple double read if something's going to be public. This person has said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I'm going to just fucking go on and just write this review that no one could read because it makes no fucking sense. I don't even know how to respond to it because I'm not even quite sure what they're even fucking saying.
I can't tell you. I don't know.
Bad no setting hour of two idiots chatting in a cafe bar. 2 snang second slash boring lengthy chat again. Like, what the fuck? These people, I mean, I don't know.
They tried.
That they gotta be friends with the other bro, because I'm like, this is crazy. These people seem like they know how to spell. Sandy Ruby, so someone's mom wrote this review. Surviving the horror fest. Not my cup of tea. My husband and I fucking called it. Man, I could call people's personalities by their names. Like, of these reviews. My husband and I have this unbreakable rule with my mystery screenings. No matter how awful the film, we've promised to stick it out. But oh man, when the title appeared, I had an overwhelming urge to sprint for the exit. So you've already made up your mind you hate this movie.
When the title appears.
Right? Like, That makes no sense. I've already seen the trailer. Bitch, why did you go to the movie then? And let me tell you, Kathleen, it looked horrendous. Spoiler alert, it was the worst. It was the worst. That was it. That's period. And then picture every horror movie cliche you can imagine. Cringeworthy dialogue, a nonsensical plot, acting so bad it deserves all the razzies, and enough gore to make even the hardest butcher squirm. I mean, calm it down. It wasn't that
Okay, it wasn't
fucking
that
gory.
bad.
Like, Jesus
It wasn't
Christ.
that bad.
Honestly, there is a rating below 0 because this film definitely earned it. Some people in the theater seem to enjoy it, but it just wasn't for me. Count me out for this sequel. First of all, Sandy, it's a rated R horror movie. So your mystery screenings makes no, and it's not a mystery screening if you've seen the fucking preview. Like what?
Oh,
These,
hold on. Well, I was
it's a
letting me interrupt, but I clicked on her
yeah.
because I see what else she does. She gave Companion a 7-star.
Okay, of course she did. She's like, I love this. No, less gore. A lovely couple. I'm going love story. Like, she sounds like someone who literally already made her up her mind before she even seen this movie and then went to go
Pretty much.
still see the movie, which is insane. Sorry, apparently my OneDrive told me that I am like 360% over on my OneDrive storage. I'm not a graphic artist, are you? Yeah, this lady sucks. She sounds boring, and maybe you should team up with the one dude who decided not to pay attention to the movie, and go watch movies with him, because that makes sense. Because I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? The next one is, oh god, another one. Lauren Baumgarten. She already sounds horrible. I'm sorry. Lauren Baumgarten, tell me what your fancy run-star review is, but the hot eyes. Horrible. That's all she could spell. I know. I legitimately never review movies. I made an account specifically after seeing this piece of hot garbage. I love when they start out like that. I love movies. I can find something redeeming in just everything I see. I'm sure you do. Except this movie. Cheesy. Tried to be funny and fell flat. Just truly, truly terrible. If I weren't with friends, I would have walked out. Absolutely nothing scary or suspenseful about it. Called the ending in the first 15 minutes. Terrible acting, terrible plot. I'm just trying to come up with enough words to describe how truly awful this movie was. Only nice surprise was Devon Siwa, but he's only on screen for 10 minutes total. First of all,
I'll agree with that part.
Yeah, that part is true. He was like, we did definitely need more of him. He did get killed off fast, but also he wasn't a main character. Second of all, it's a comedy horror. And I'm pretty sure they even advertised it as so. And what's funny about this one is she says like the killing was bad. Like that it wasn't bloody. It wasn't bloody enough for you. I'm like a lot of mixed signals here in this review. But what she's like not saying really why. I mean, it's meant to be horrible acting. Like, I don't get that people don't get this. It's meant to be, cheesy, horrible acting. Like, that was the whole basis of this movie. Like, I mean, even look at Scream, right? Like Parker Posey's character.
Yeah.
Horrible acting. but it's supposed to be horrible because she's like over dramatic and she's like, oh, the fat.
Well, yeah, it's a
movie.
Like, that's like 3 levels of meta in Scream 3.
Yeah,
it's actors
I'm just like
playing actors.
I'm like, this is like this. It's supposed to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't like the movie for what it is. Just say I don't like the movie, but like trying to make like jabs at the acting because you don't get it sucks. This one's weird because she's like, I don't like the movie, and also the gore is not gory enough. Like, you just seen a woman get squeezed like a grape with her eyeballs popping out of her head. I'm not quite sure what else you wanted us to show you. But apparently that wasn't gory enough. And these are all like from the 7th and the 8th. You guys suck 1 stars, but that concludes the 1-star reviews. I mean, I feel like these were less entertaining. People were just bitter about these movies. And it's funny because they're all about love and relationships. And everyone's like, oh, I hate them. I hate love. Fuck that and fuck this movie. Fucking people. I'd rather watch that robot romance, you know? The one where she kills everybody with the fucking corkscrew. That one. I'd rather watch that one. I'm like, God, these people, they're so entertaining. And thank you guys for entertaining us. Honestly, I think that the reviews is the best segment we do because of you.
Fun.
Yeah, you guys make it fun for all your horrible 1-star reviews. And hey, how about this? Patreons, if you guys want to become a Patreon and post, or even if you guys want to leave us, if you listen to us on iHeartRadio, there's a little mic that you could press on it, leave us a message. If you would like to read your own 1-star review or know of a 1-star review and want to share it with us, please do so. If it's your own 1-star review, realize that we are going to roast you live. But if you're okay with that, we're okay with it. This year is crazy with horror movies. I know for sure we're going to be reviewing The Monkey. Like, duh. Mm-hmm. I'm sure there's 5 million other movies coming out. I have a whole list. Yes, Until Dawn. Another one. A lot of them are going to be Sony movies. But yeah, we're going to be doing more reviews. We will update you guys on when that episode's coming on our socials. Remember to support us on our Patreon. Also, listen to us on Spotify, iTunes, all those lovely things. We're not just on the U of the tubes, and you guys could still see our videos. But feel free to support us because, you know, we're poor and we need money. And we can do more fun things. But also to remind everyone, convention season's coming up, and I'm trying to figure out what our next one is. If we're going to be doing a panel, we'll see. But hopefully it did well last time, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're going to call it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Stabby Time. And I hope you guys stay stabby.